Hey, welcome back to Lemon Lounge. I'm here with myself, Spencer, and Ethan.
Hello.
And today I'd like to do a little rambling, a little talking on about speedrunning as it's probably Friday when we put this out, and it's almost the end of SGDQ, which is one of my favorite things to watch.
Probably Friday. It's definitely Friday.
What's going on? Yeah, it is definitely Friday for these people, but it's definitely not for us.
Yes.
But I just have this addiction to watching people beat games as fast as possible. It's just,
I love speedruns.
I love it. I love that this giant, massive game, Breath of the Wild, can be taken down in 30 minutes in your underwear.
Taken down. You make it sound like it's an enemy that you're trying. Well, yeah, you know what
it is your enemy, and so is everyone else in that.
Everything's an enemy.
But I just my favorite games all done so fast. Like Luigi's Mansion, I think you can do in 14 minutes through just breaking the game completely.
Right.
Oh, you still have to show me that one. You were talking about that.
I'll have to show you. It's only 14 minutes of your time.
I love speedruns, but I think we differ on which ones
I know we
prefer.
differ.
Well, it's just because of certain games that I enjoy. I mean, I've grown up on the Spyro and the Crash games. Like that was about all I had, as main games go. And I never knew speedrunning was a thing as a kid, of course. So I'm just like, how fast can I actually beat this game? And for me, like as a kid, like 12 years old, I beat I think Crash 2 in under 2 hours or something like that. And I was like, wow, I did so well. And it was 100% too. And then Crash 3, I got a little bit under that and got 100% as well. So it was like, oh, it feels good to complete the entirety of the game and get 112% or whatever. And then I found out speedrunning was a thing for any percents and was like, what the heck am I looking at?
You're definitely a 100% guy, and I'm just a fiend for any percent. Like, as soon as they get the game done, I'm like, that's cool.
Oh my gosh.
Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, I can't remember.
So if there's a glitch to automatically make the credits roll, does that qualify?
Usually they have a set, this is what counts as beating the game.
Okay.
Sometimes it's credits, but I know in Wind Waker, time stops when the cutscene plays and jabs his sword in Ganon. So whatever it takes to get to that cutscene, is what beats the game. In Breath of the Wild,
bro.
In Breath of the Wild, it's shooting the final shot on the guy.
Do all the cutscenes count in those games, or do they generally not?
It depends on the game, because I just watched Spyro on SGDQ, and they don't count. They use the in-game timer, but a lot of games use an out-of-game timer.
Yeah.
And so it's just... the Portal 2 uses an in-game timer, too. It's just... Every game differs, in a way.
But it's, defined by the people who are playing it, or...
There's a huge community behind it, and Speedrun Archives.com, I think, is, the leading rule setters, I think.
There's also, just Speedrun.com. I don't know which one that is.
A lot of people gather there, and they'll have the different categories, and I think it's just the community as a whole that comes together and sets the basic rules that makes sense most.
Yeah. I like watching, obviously, if you Google speedrunning for a certain game, a YouTube video will probably pop up. And I love that they always say, world record, and there's 80 different ones that say world record, and they're completely different times, and they're all released on random time, so it's not each video is progressively getting more to the world record. It's you're just self-declaring yourself as a world victor. And then you actually watch the game's done quick things, and people are actually doing it well, and you're like, wow, those videos were really bad compared to the ones that they're actually streaming.
Yeah.
Now, I have a question, because I really don't know too much about this. I do like seeing random speedrun videos. I've seen the Ocarina of Time one. I liked watching one of the Dark Souls speedruns, because that game frustrated me for a long time. So you're just oh yeah, just get over there. No, but when it comes to racing games, Mario Kart, let's say we're talking Mario Kart 8 or Mario Kart the new one.
That's right. That's
okay, 8. How do they judge racing based games on?
I think a lot of racing games, don't quote me if I'm wrong, but I think they use an out of game timer too. So I know Mario Kart 64, that one's a very popular one, or maybe not 64, but the NES one.
Does it go by map or does it go by completion of the game?
Completion of the game.
So
it stacks up the time of each race.
Okay, so every race you're just
but then usually there's also single track records too.
Okay, cool.
But like the big one I care about is the full one.
Yeah. Okay, interesting.
A lot of it becomes how much can you do before you mess up and have to restart.
Right.
Yeah, I consider myself a good Mario Kart 8 player.
Same.
I mean, I've been like there was a 5-year period that I played the game every day because when I moved into CMU, I got a roommate who said, "I'm going to buy this Wii U in a week. I'm going to get only Mario Kart. That's the only game I want." And every meal for the next 5 years, we just continuously played it. Like at least like a 8-round cup, like every time. So like all the maps are so muscle memory. I was like, oh, I could be a speedrunner, you know. And then I look at the actual speedruns and I'm like, oh shit, I've never tried that before. Oh, but now I have new tactics to like actually beat people. And they're like, how the heck do you get so far ahead where the blue shell can't even touch you?
Yeah.
Right.
Like you can be as good as you want at the NES Mario Kart, and then you just see the guy he jumps and turns through a wall. Around like small hops around the starting line just to get a quick 3 laps.
Yeah, the thing about like Mario Kart especially is like you said, like the longer and the more experience you get, it's more about like making the least mistakes as possible. Yeah. Like if you ever played the online, my roommates were super into it and they're just sitting there like sweating because like they have to make every single shortcut
because everyone goes for them.
Right.
Like, if you don't go for it, you're the odd man out.
I think it's the silliest thing, but I love it so much.
And then if you get to like the 3-hour ones, just even a large mistake, sometimes you just don't even reset because it just is nothing in the grand scheme of 3 hours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Most people make a mistake or a few, you know, like it's hard to get a perfect run, of course. So you kind of have to gauge like what mistake you made and be like, well, that screwed me. I'm probably dead now, but here I go for the other hour to finish this game.
I know recently some guy by the name of Linkus got like I don't know if he got a new record from it, but he got the luckiest Wind Waker run. Because he said they say there's like 3 big RNG spots you have to worry about. One, because he's doing 100% runs, so you like him. He spends so long on them.
I like both of them.
So in one run, he got the quick sale on the first auction, so he never had to go back into the auction. And then there's another time later, he goes back into the auction, he got the right item, which is just balls chance. Like he just doesn't.
There's only 3 items in the auction, you know.
But then he went to the mini game the battleship mini game.
Oh yeah,
and he got every one correct.
Oh my god.
Like few misses, like first try, like he never gets the first try because it's just all RNG. Right. There's no rhyme or reason to it.
Well, there's probably aren't there preloaded answers for that?
No,
I'm pretty sure there are. It. Really? Okay.
Because it's all random.
I've played Wind Waker a heck of a lot.
Because there's a video of him. It was at SGDQ on topic, right? And he had missed like so many. And then he cuddles up with someone and says, Cuddle Powers. And then they're all lined up straight up and down right next to each other.
Oh my god.
It's just like all in this little box.
I watched you play that mini game though a little bit ago. And you were like trying to do it like logically and scan it out and separate each one. And I was like, man, they're probably all right on top of each other. And you're like, no. And then they were, and you were like, fuck this game.
The logic is just a defense of the brain because I'm tired of doing that game. It's just to make me feel a little better.
You get sick of hearing sploosh.
Oh, yeah, no, I love that. Sploosh. Okay.
But, right, next episode of Wind Waker, we're going to make you just do that mini game.
Okay, I will beat it right away.
We'll put it up as an extra episode. Sploosh.
So you were talking about off camera saying that like some people are against speedrunning. Can you explain some of that? Because I have no idea.
Speedrunning in a way, like there's a lot of argument of should you play the game as intended, and I guess in 100% sense that fits just fine.
Yeah.
But like in the any percent Luigi's Mansion, when you go behind a treasure box and then you walk through out of bounds houses, like it's speedrunning and modding mostly. Should you play the game as intended, or should you find your own enjoyment? I'm definitely like in a camp of almost like fuck the artist, but like not really, because most of the game comes from them. But like,
I'm sure you don't mean it like that. I'm sure you more mean it like you should be able to enjoy the art how you see fit.
Yeah, it's a combination of what they make and then what I get out of it.
The only way I could see a video game creator being angry that someone's doing like an any percent run is if like they're really upset that certain glitches like they didn't patch before the game got released, and they were like, "Stop exploiting my mistake." That's not very nice. But like I can't see like, a lot of people being mad about it.
The mistakes are so small. I feel like there should be no reason they should feel offended either. Yeah. Like there's a skip in Wind Waker, the barrier skip around. Have you ever played Wind Waker?
Yeah.
So there's the giant barrier around Hyrule, stopping you from going to Ganon's castle, and it's all the way up and down. They guarded it so well. It's 2 layers: a damage layer and then a block layer, so you can't walk past the second, and the first one hits you back. So it took them years, but they found out a way to glitch behind the damage layer, and then they found out that that instead of being a full circle, it's a bunch of squares up against each other. So they found a way to increase their speed to go through that tiny crack. It's not like you just can't defend against that. They're gonna find little holes, and I think that's the beauty in the games, is finding them.
And I feel like people enjoy the games outside of that. It's not like people buy the games to exploit them immediately. It's like usually
some people do, and I kind of like that. I kind of like that camp though.
Well, what is it? PS1 games or Sega Genesis? I don't even remember. But like at some point, those discs, if you took them and you just put them in your computer, like it tells you like all the files and stuff in it, and like was it just a notepad file or something like that? I don't remember. But like you can read up on like a ton of stuff, and that's how people are always like, there's a hidden data something in the disc that tells you that this was supposed to be a key feature, and it didn't. Like Waluigi was a playable character until they decided to remove him, and like they always leave that stuff that never quite made it into the game in the files. I don't know why. Maybe because it's too much work to take out.
It's probably like an Easter egg. Sometimes it's probably just forgot about it.
I'm trying to remember. Did You Know Gaming was talking about some game that had like a morale officer listed in the credits, and it was a silly name that I can't remember, like something that had an animal on it, and it was because if you went into the archived files of the disc, like in a computer, you could see that there was a picture of like, I want to say it's like a wombat or an eagle or something in a suit, and that's the name of the guy. I don't remember it, but like that kind of stuff, people do that immediately upon getting games. I don't know how you can do it now with like Nintendo Switch games where you have small cartridges.
They make it harder.
People are able to, like, I don't even know, you could use maybe an SD card reader or something like that, or one that actually fits.
Awkwardly sized.
They have to make a machine just for that. I don't know.
Probably wouldn't be too hard. They could probably just mod the Switch.
Probably.
Would you get mad if somebody, like, let's say you released a song and somebody sampled it for, like, you know, like they sampled it in a rap beat? Like in a beat, would you be upset about that?
Probably.
Really, if somebody sampled your music?
Yeah, probably, because if you're doing it without asking.
If sampling is
you can't monetize
copyright here.
Yeah, no, like you can't monetize or make money off of anything like that if you just took somebody's stuff.
You could make off of samples. So you could, like, there's the one Kid Rock song. I hate Kid Rock. I just hate him. And he samples Metallica's song, and you can make money off that.
There's one Kid Rock song that was basically
to do it.
I don't know,
because I feel like you
claim to know right now. We'll put that off.
To use somebody's like audio file like that, I feel like you need to pay for the copyright for it. Because I know at least for arranging,
you need like a mechanical license.
What? I'm sorry, this is going to bother me. What was the Kid Rock song that was on all the freaking time?
Oh, I don't want it to. Awa to Ba?
No.
The Leonard Skinner one?
That one. It's like
obviously
thank God I don't know
that
it.
Entire song is Werewolves in London by a completely different band.
Oh,
Sweet Home Alabama.
Yeah, Sweet Home Alabama.
Yeah. And I was like, I never knew until I heard Werewolves in London. It was like, he stole this song from Kid Rock. No,
like it's a little bit different, because like that's just taking the work and making it your own work.
Yeah.
Instead of like enjoying the art in a different way.
Me and My Lonely Heart was a ripoff of I Don't Want to Be Lonely No More by Maroon 5.
Then I feel even more strongly to the fact that, like, if you are having fun with the game and you're exploring it, then it should be fine.
I had that wrong. That's Rob Thomas. Sorry, my bad.
But like these people aren't even trying to like, you know, steal your
then
work.
There's
or
like modders who changed the game and put like the Incredible Hulk in GTA.
How can a game developer look at that and not love it? Like seriously, how can you just be like, dude, that's hilarious, and I'm glad that you're having fun
because they
in this playground I made for you.
Lots of people are like that. You just don't hear much about them. You only hear about the people who are like, why are you messing with the work that I spent years creating?
Well, I think Rockstar in particular, I think it's hard to mod them. I just don't think they like it.
They had mods for a while, and they made them.
They wanted you to buy them.
Yeah, see, that's where I think that shit is like.
Yeah,
that's why they probably don't like it. Because they're not getting any gain out of it, other than people are just enjoying the game.
Yeah, I think it's because there were so many YouTubers doing it though too. I miss seeing mod streams from GTA. That was probably my favorite thing that I used to watch.
I think it's just we prolong their game when they want to put out a new one. They probably just want us to stop playing unless we pay for the DLC.
GTA 5 has been out since like 2011, 12, something. We were in high school when it came out.
Dude, I was not old enough to buy it yet. Like I remember having to have my friend John buy it for me.
That's illegal. You just threw yourself under the bus.
Arrest me right now.
What's your emergency?
I feel like it's a good say in that game company if that game can last this long.
Exactly.
But sometimes they just want to push out new games and it's kind of shitty sometimes.
Look at the game. Look at speedrunning. I mean, that makes games last way longer than they ever would because people obviously have finished these games before. You know, like tons and tons and tons of times. 100% found every Easter egg that exists, and yet they still are playing it because they want to see how fast they can get it.
They're still finding new things with like the barrier skip being so recent. Maybe it's not recent. Maybe I'm just feeling old again.
Well, I think it was the HD edition came out and then they found the barrier escape.
Yeah.
Wow, I can't talk. All my English is merging into a weird gibberish.
It wasn't short. It wasn't shortly after it came out, though.
Right.
It was definitely a while after it came out.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that. Just finding new holes in the game, I think is fun, and I'm not trying to shit on the developer. I just like it.
I've watched you be in the water just as not in the boat or whatever in that game, and try to get that so you can fling yourself across the map.
Super swim.
You got it for a couple squares once.
It was real fun. But like when I first got Breath of the Wild, the first thing I did, I think you were there, was I got in my underwear and I ran towards the castle. And
you drove me crazy.
I found my own non-speedrunning way because I didn't know what to do yet. But
I climbed the obelisk.
I climbed the obelisk, which was no easy task because it was fighting me. But I liked fighting the game.
But you didn't have a paraglider, so I don't really know how you intended to get in there.
I had a paraglider.
Did you? Okay.
I think the next big skip for that game is right now they can't get off of this tutorial area.
Yeah.
Like there's no foreseeable way right now, but I'd like to see it happen in the future. Because when you're in the tutorial, until you get the paraglider, nothing else is loaded.
Right.
So you eventually get sucked back in to the tutorial area. So the big issue is how to get around that. And that half the speedrun is getting through the tutorial.
Wow.
Like 15 minutes to do that, 15 minutes to go kick Ganon's ass.
Yeah, you got to do that thing perfectly, though, because you can get one shot with 3 hearts in your underwear.
Like, the whole second half of 15 minutes is going to the castle, robbing everyone in it for as much weapons as you can, finding some ingredients for some food.
Have you seen the flash montage for that by Terminal Montage?
No, I have not.
If you're listening to this, you should YouTube Terminal Montage
we can link it in the description because it's a beautiful thing.
It's so funny. It's basically a Flash adaptation of someone actually doing the speedrun for it.
But it's like everything is real in it. It looks completely absurd. Like it looks like the people who make animations that just do absurd things for humor.
Yeah, no.
But most of it's accurate.
Oh, wait. Oh.
You were there.
I have seen these.
You were there.
It's so absurd, but so accurate. I love it.
I watched like all of those.
That is such a creative artistic medium.
Right.
Drawing, speedrunning.
Yeah. So let's come to a vote then. If you had to vote for 100% or any percent, which one would you pick?
I think in risk or in fear of like making the developers slightly upset, I think 100% speedrunning without like any glitches is probably the truest way to play the game.
We also have to differentiate. Like there's any percent, and then there's any percent, and sometimes it has to break into out of bounds or not out of bounds.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes any percent is just the completely legit way.
Oh, then I think any percent is fine. Like I enjoy watching those because I'm like, dang, they are just playing this game. The ones
I like more is when they get out of bounds, when they just break the game.
You like watching people exploit everything possible.
Like Super Mario Sunshine, like all the loading zones exist at all times.
Really?
So if you can get out of bounds and walk towards the loading zone, you get in anywhere.
Yeah,
that's so crazy.
I fall on the spectrum of I enjoy playing and enjoy playing 100% runs, but I enjoy watching the any percent runs.
Right. Also, it's a little bit of me. Ain't no one got time for that. Yeah. So like a lot of my speedruns end up being 10 to 30 minutes. It makes me feel a little better. And ain't no one got time for any more of this. That's all the time we got.
Yeah, we might as well end it.
Be sure to tell us your favorite runs, categories, games in the comments below.
And why it's Club Penguin rewritten.
Oh no.
32 seconds.
Let's go play
32 seconds.
We're gonna play it right now.
We're gonna have to snatch a new record on that.
All right, let's go.
See you guys later.